Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Alembic Database Migrations, Episode 3 of 8. Blindly trusting an automated tool to write your database migrations is a fast track to accidentally deleting your production tables. The problem lies in understanding what the tool actually sees when it compares your code to reality, and that is exactly what we cover today with the magic and limits of Autogenerate. Alembic has a core feature called Autogenerate. When you run a revision command with the Autogenerate flag, Alembic performs a comparison. First, it connects to your live database and inspects the current schema. Second, it looks at the target state defined by the SQLAlchemy models in your application code. It compares these two states and figures out the differences. There is a common misconception about this step. Autogenerate does not magically apply these changes to your database. It simply writes a draft Python script containing the migration operations it thinks you need to make the database match your models. You are required to review this candidate script before actually executing it against your database. When it compares your database to your models, Autogenerate reliably detects basic structural changes. If you add a new model class to your code, Alembic drafts an instruction to create a table. If you remove a model class, it drafts an instruction to drop that table. It correctly catches when you add or remove columns, when you change a column to allow null values, or when you add basic indexes and unique constraints. For these standard operations, the feature saves you a massive amount of manual typing. Here is the part that matters. Autogenerate has blind spots because it cannot read your mind. Suppose you decide to rename an existing table in your SQLAlchemy models. You update the code and run the Autogenerate command, expecting Alembic to draft a safe command to alter the table name. Instead, it proposes something highly dangerous. It drafts a command to drop the old table completely, destroying all the data inside, and then drafts a second command to create a brand new table with the new name. Alembic does this because it only sees that the old table name exists in the database but is missing from your models, and a new table name exists in your models but is missing from the database. It has no way to link the two together as a simple rename. You have to manually edit the drafted script to use a rename table operation instead. The exact same limitation applies to renaming columns. Autogenerate will interpret a renamed column as an instruction to drop the old one and add a new one. Beyond renames, there are changes Autogenerate will ignore entirely by default. If you change a column data type or if you modify a server default value, Alembic will skip over those differences. You can configure the tool to detect type and default changes, but you have to explicitly turn those settings on in your environment configuration. Even with those settings enabled, it will never detect changes to sequence objects or constraint names. The safest way to treat Autogenerate is as a high-speed dictation tool that handles the boilerplate for you, rather than an intelligent system that understands the intent behind your code changes. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you picked up something new.